Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, time for Wisdom Wednesday. It's been kind of a crazy week for me and kind of walk you through that in some shape, form, or fashion today. But what I thought I would talk about is a little bitty cell in our blood called a platelet. And we here in our office have known about platelet rich plasma for a long time, but I thought I'd kind of walk us through what platelets are and how they can be used for many things. First of all, we'll talk about their purpose and then where we can use them in our office, and then a little bit about what's been going on with my family. Anyway, platelets are a blood cell in our blood that comes from a very large cell called a megakaryocyte, and then little pieces are cut off, and this is all done in the bone marrow where our blood cells are made. And these particular cells are important for the blood clotting system and the wound repair system in our body. So there are a lot of chemical signals that come from platelets. They have a role in helping bring in lots of other growth factors and healing factors when we have an injury. So they're tiny little cells that can adhere when activated to an injury. And when they are sort of adherent, they send out signals, and these signals then call in more platelets that then call in more growth factors and healing factors, things that help make fibrin and form a clot, and then can begin to the process of regenerative work. For instance, if you cut yourself to heal a cut or a wound of any sort. Now that means that they have real potential in our world, particularly in our side of the practice that is the aesthetic side, because platelet-rich plasma can be achieved by drawing blood from a person. We then spin that blood, and when it separates out, when it is spinning, the red cells all go to the bottom, and up on top is plasma, and then the platelets are a little white fuzzy little area as well in that plasma, and we can draw that off and utilize it for many things. Many people are using it for hair growth, so injecting it in the scalp. Many people are using it just for facial benefits of helping with plumping and filling with platelet-rich plasma, and also we're using it in joints to help with rejuvenation of cartilage and other healing things, helping tears with some of the ligaments, etc. So we can use this little layer of serum out of the blood for many things, and so platelet-rich plasma is one of the things that you might hear about. There's also platelet-rich fibrin matrix, and that's where we take the platelet-rich plasma and introduce something that helps form fibrin, which then gives it a little more texture and helps with certain areas of healing as well, and can be utilized in different ways to help with healing. Platelets usually live about 7 to 10 days. We're constantly turning them over in our bone marrow, and just so that you know that there's lots of uses for it. Now, what has happened in the last week or so is that one of my children, out of the blue, developed a low platelet disorder called ITP, or idiopathic thrombocytopenia. So idiopathic meaning we don't know what causes it. Thrombocytopenia means platelets. Penia is low, so low platelet. And then purpura is the fact that we see it on the skin. We see small little bruises or little red dots called petechiae, and it's fairly consistent with this type of problem. And just over the weekend, this happened to my son. He was actually traveling back from a vacation in the Bahamas and had a layover in Atlanta, and called and said these things were happening and didn't feel comfortable getting on his next leg. So he is currently in the hospital being treated for this ITP. This is a very strange, not that common, but not uncommon either. Certainly hematologists see this frequently. And out of the blue, it can just occur. And the treatment basically is steroids, and if that doesn't work, then there are other medications and different things that can be utilized. So at this point, we are just waiting for those steroids to kick in and get these platelets up. I appreciate all of you all who have reached out and continuing to keep him in your prayers, because I think that we're hoping to see this turn around pretty quickly. But I did have to run out to Atlanta for a day or so just to kind of get the medical team situation and understand where we were and help them understand what was going on, he and his wife. So they are currently just in the hospital there in Atlanta waiting for the rejuvenation and renewal of his own platelets. So these are very important cells. If you don't have them, it is not a good thing. You could easily cut and bleed and not be able to clot and not be able to heal. So it is a very important part of the blood system. And I'll keep you updated, but we are hopeful that in the next 24, 48 hours, we will see this start to turn around, and he will be up and around and back to making his own platelets pretty soon. And just appreciate what all of those who have reached out, and we continue to pray for him and make sure that he is healing well and will be back on his feet and be able to get home to Nashville where he lives, and in quick order. Anyway, just a little bit about platelets. Thought I would share that with you since I got to do a little more research on those this week, and just something that's important for all of us. You all have a great week, and we'll continue to learn and continue to heal and to continue to be healthy as much as we can. Have a great week.